Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, it's February 14th, 2018. It's warming up. It's going to get up above freezing today. And I'm up at the top of the property. The main road is right behind me there. There's the entrance to our driveway going down, the area where future gardens are going. And here I am back again up near the road. And I'm going to take a little bit of a walk down through at least part of our second food forest. I mentioned we did a tour of the first food forest the other day, and I posted that video, and there were some good comments about it. So I thought I'd show, even though you can't see that much, let's see what's going on during the winter months. So here we go. So this is our first swale system right here. Here are the blue spruce line. There's a little bit of a walkway to come down here. We've got quite a few trees and bushes and perennials all throughout this first row that's in front of us. Then that's a swale. We'll have a look here. Right down the center there. There's two levels to the swale. And then another mound. So there's a mound on each side of this swale. And we try to harvest all the water from the runoff from the crown of the road in 3 different levels. Over here is digging through the snow. Down on this side of the blue spruces are the chestnut trees, and they're all in tree tubes here. And we'll start walking down here. I actually got 2 cameras shooting at this time, so I don't know how I'll be switching back and forth. So right here is one of the northern pecans. Right here, I'll have to get a tree tube around that tree. We got some wild berry plants. Right in here, there's a honey locust. Right here, catawba tree. And then right here, another honey locust tree here. This is that's another heart nut right there. Another catawba tree here. This is a chestnut inside of this tree cone. This, I believe, is that's a honey locust. And oh boy, I can't even tell right now, to tell you the truth. I'll have to see when the leaves start budding out. I believe that I'm not certain what that one is right now. Inside of this tree tube is another chestnut, another catawba tree. Small honey locust there. Another chestnut tree here. You can see the water down in the swale system, part of the swale system. Another catawba tree here. Another small honey locust there. This is another heart nut. It's doing pretty well. Another honey locust. Another catawba. And let's see what we got here. Is this another chestnut? Which one is this one? Well, that one may have died. I'm not sure just what that one is. Another catawba tree here. Another heart nut here. Honey locust there. All along this whole row, I should have mentioned, there's a double row of comfrey in here as well. Another catawba tree. I believe that there's a pecan down in there, but it may not have survived next to that stake. We may have lost some of the honey locusts. The deer do eat the honey locusts when they're small. Another catawba tree here. Another honey locust there. Another catawba tree here. Wait a minute, sorry. I believe that that's another heart nut right there. Catawba tree. This is a maple. Hank! Good boy. Is one of the Carpathian English walnuts. Actually, a couple of those heart nuts that I mentioned might have been Carpathian English walnuts. Another honey locust. These are thornless varieties, however you can see some of them do develop small thorns. Another catawba tree. I got some pruning to do. That's what happens when the deer come down and bite them off. And if they do send up another shoot, they end up doing pretty well. Another honey locust there. Honey locust here. That's a northern hardy pecan there. This, I believe, is another honey locust. Catawba here. This is a chestnut here, and right across her, closer to the pond, is a chestnut. Yeah, that's another chestnut. Another catawba tree here. Hank, stay off the pond. So now we're on one of the access roads up here. So one of the access roads go out here, and we have another entrance at this side, on the other side of the spruces there. And this is pond 1. Sort of kidney shaped. And there's a whole variety of plants around here that are that do better, and there's some of the corkscrew willows. There's a nice sized willow right there, weeping willow. And then we have some spruces, dwarf spruces. We have regular spruces as well, ones that I've dug out of the woods and transplanted around the pond. Some tall grasses, some forsythia, some what else do we have? So we have some medicinal flowering herbs, echinacea, chamomile as well. I can't think of all the varieties here. Now, there's a row right here. This is one of the flowering cranberry trees. And all the way down on this second side of the swale up here are all flowering crabapple trees. So flowering crabapple trees. The birds actually love them. Here's another chestnut. You know, might be able to hear the Canada geese. And again, it's the usual cloudy overcast here in central New York. Another chestnut here. This is one of the crab apples I had some trouble with. There's a few blueberry plants around here that I've got to transplant again. And we just walked down that side where the maple is, straight ahead. We walked down that side, and on the other side here of this swale, and this swale, I don't know how well this is showing up, comes around and dumps into pond 1. And I'll be doing more swale systems and pond systems in the wood lots over there because we're losing so many trees. You know. So right here on the end are honey locusts. We have some high bush cranberry plants planted in here, medicinal herbs as well. That one right there is a native plum. I can't remember the genus. This is a tree I transplanted this last spring. Amazing that it is surviving, doing quite well. And we have a whole bunch of flowering crab apples and flowering pears along in here. It really creates wonderful habitat for all of the bird species down here. Now here's another outlet for the swale coming around. Here's another native plum tree here. Produces very small edible plums, but I leave that for the wildlife. This is the other side of the pond one. There's a well right over by that mound of dirt, straight ahead over there. And this is an area that we're actively expanding this food forest. And now we're walking up a little bit higher because there's about a foot deep of wood chips in here that I worked on not last year, but the year before. So this is, and right where that maple is, that's in a row. That was all garlic for the last couple of years. This year we're going to plant some other plants in there because I had such a failure with garlic I wasn't able to get them out in time. Now we're getting into many of the productive apple and fruit trees here. So this right here this is a Golden Delicious, one of the cultivars of Golden Delicious. This is another flowering, native plum. All along in here there's, like right here by this stake, that is a pink currant here. Now down and back we just had the blacks and the red currants. This is another apple tree here. And since I'm walking around holding two cameras, I'm not going to try and see which ones they are. There's another apple here. These got to come out of their tree guards pretty soon. And that right there is a pecan tree right there. So that one's doing pretty well. We had troubles with the pecans because the deer kept chewing them off each year. So that's about a 4-year-old pecan tree, but it had been chopped every single year until not last summer, but the summer before, the fall before, I put that tree guard on it, and it got about halfway up the tube, and last year it shot up that much further. So that's really worked out pretty well. And this is a plum. No, I'm sorry, that is another apple. That's an apple. So those are both Wisep apples, those two. Now I see. More flowering crab apples. And as the season goes on, the birds will be just gobbling them right down. And the deer like them as well. They come up underneath them and eat them all the time. And this is another honey locust here. Now branching off of this most northern swale is another swale. And there's peaches and plums and pecans all along this swale. And evergreen, you'd see where the bird nest from. It looks like a 2-year-old bird nest right there. I'm not sure if you could see it. And here's another honey locust right here. Another crab apple. All the berries have been taken off of this one. And right now I'm standing on another one of the permanent raised beds. It's a garlic bed. Same thing right over on this side. And you just can't see it because they're just completely covered with snow. This is a heart nut. Honey locust. Another crab apple here. And on this row, peaches, plums, pecans, and I think that there's one apple in this row. This is where the composting is done up here. here's a spot where the deer have been going down, and they love getting down into the thick mulch and the mycelium. Let me look around. Nope, there's also a fox tracks here. So the fox has been in, and there may be moles, voles, and shrews or mice that they're going after as well. These deep mulch sections that are dry sections of are really well draining next to these swales. There's abundance of wildlife. These are not only swale mounds, but they're hedgerows that have all of the various native flowering species that go on both sides of this. So there's an abundance of beneficial insects all along in this system, and amphibians, including salamanders, those ones that you would only find in the woods typically, but they tend to inhabit these areas because we let it grow up so well and thick. There's another northern pecan. No, I'm sorry, that's a heart nut. There's another flowering crabapple. I think integrating and really creating diversity in your plantings really has helped us out a lot. That's another locust. Another heart nut here. Another flowering crabapple. Chestnut here. That's a flowering crabapple. This is the area that we do the composting. You can see the end of the compost, and those little bushes sticking up, I'm not sure if they're showing up very well, right over there are the those are the currants, and on the other side of it, just in front of it, are where the blackberries are, the chesters and the triple crown are. We'll see how well they overwinter. So now I'm going, all right, so we had the road, the chestnuts, the various spruce trees along there, then a path that we walked down initially. Now we have that first row of trees on the first mound, the swale, the second mound that we're walking down now, and on this side is the grapevine trellis, and these are almost all Concord grapes that I got from a friend just over a year ago, I believe it was, and I transplanted them here. Had lots of weeds, and in this area the soil growth has been so abundant, and these areas are only chopped down with the mower twice a year, and that's been a bit of a problem. We're growing so much soil here, it's just amazing with this system. More soil than I had ever seen in many years before putting in this system. And I think a lot of it, so one is letting all of the natural grasses and herbs grow up in this area. That's one thing, and having the swales here. But I think the biggest benefit is this whole area that we're looking at right now is all hugelkultur pits all under this whole area, and that has really made a tremendous charging system for the aquifer. So we'll ignore this row of grapes down here and continue. And here's a flowering crabapple, a passage from this swale system going into the next swale system, and we'll follow that in a couple minutes. This is a flowering pear here, a chestnut, that's another catabla tree. This is a flowering crabapple. You can see the main trunk died off, but a side branch came off, and I'll prune that dead part off hopefully this season. Another flowering crabapple. An ash tree, one of our few ash trees that are still surviving, but this one does have the emerald ash in it now. Another flowering crabapple. And this one here, let me look and see. Oop. I believe I got a label still on this one. Oh. This is a lake English walnut. They seem to be slower growers here. Another flowering crabapple. This is another walnut here. And another flowering crabapple. And we're back out to our main access road here. So everything we've seen so far is in I'd say the first 50 feet from the road. So now if we look this way, we've got those grapevines. Over here here's another swale coming off the driveway, draining water that comes down the main driveway, directing it through a swale system here. And running along this swale system are red raspberry plants. So these ones here I just planted in December, transplanted in December. Here's the ones that are about a year old, and I didn't get in here and prune these ones yet. So we'll take a quick walk down here. The sun's coming up, so great. And this isn't the best system. I may end up taking this whole raspberry section out. This is about a 300-foot long section of raspberries, and I haven't decided yet. There's another break in the raspberry bed, so I make multiple breaks because the soil building up so quickly, it tends to saturate the area. So you can see I did not remove the fluorocanes from this one yet. I got to get in here and do that. You can see the swale system bends around to the side. And we'll head down this way. You can see the deer come down here and just eat all winter long. They dig down along the root zone of the berry bushes, and they're getting into all the mulch that's there, and they absolutely love it. And of course they eat any berries that are still left. They eat the old flowers from the fluorocanes as well. There's rabbit tracks. No, I'm sorry, that's possum tracks right there. Remember, they're taking care of a lot of our ticks. And the deer work their way right around in this swale system. Alright, so here we are over here by Pond 2. The other roadway, we're not going to go up that way, on the other side of those bushes, those evergreens. That's the mound just this side of Hank, far ahead of us. You see that snow? Well, that's the horseradish mound, and this whole area right in front of us is the area where we do all the composting. Now here's another swale mound here, and let's see, how are we going to do this? So we got quite a ways here. There's about 70 feet, I'm guessing, between these sections, and quite a few trees planted in here. So this is a mound on the down sloping side of the swale system. There's an apple, plum, and actually right there is a service berry straight ahead. Here's another service berry right here. I tried growing, so there's 2 rows of these, so not sure if these are going to show up. These are all hazelnuts. And down here there's probably 2 sets of yellow flags that wrap right around, and the wind has taken down quite a bit of the branches, a few of the branches from the willow here, but there's 2 rows of hazelnuts that go down here. More apples, peaches, cherries, plums, pluots. Over here there's several different honeyberries as well. Pecans. Let's see, here's an apple here. That's actually a peach, an apple, a plum, a pear. They're small. This is an apple here. Some of the labels are right at the ground levels. No, that's another apple. And I'm not sure what that one is, to tell you the truth. This is a red maple here. And then we got, oh, there next to Hank is a, what is that? That is a nut. I'm not sure which nut it is. Peaches, plums, apples, more apples, mulberry, plum, and again, maybe we'll see the all of the hazelnuts here. Here's another row of the hazelnuts going down this way. And here we are. This is one of those little green plums I got from someone that I removed a hive from their porch. What is this one? That's an apple, I think. I can't read the name of the label. This is another plum. There's another one of those sweet green plums. Down along this swale, what do we have in here? High bush cranberry plants all along this swale. So hard to see. There's one sticking up out of the ground, but the deer really eat them and chop them right down to nothing. And then the snow crushes them when they're so small. That's a persimmons right there, but we won't get to that area yet. We'll go down this row of fruit trees. So all along where Hank is walking right now is all high bush cranberries. So there's an apple, a plum, another apple, peach, a plum, a pear, an apple, an apple. This is a, well, the little pink flowers. Can't think of it right now. Gosh, I love this plant too. Beautiful nitrogen fixer. Dang it. It'll come to me. Magnolia. Got some pruning to do, by golly. Now we're coming up to a convergence, a confluence of, so here we go. Fox tracks all up in here. Not sure what's going on. My battery's getting low, it looks like. Then we have another swale. 2 to 3 rows of fruit trees along this area here. And this is pond 2 here. And we won't go down that side there. It looks like my battery's running dead. So cherries, plums, peaches, quite a few more apples, all along this side of this swale. And those are all high bush cranberries, sorry. Right along down in here. And I'll show you the wood chipping when things thaw, what I've done with the wood chipping along in this area. I hope to do the same thing along this side. And these are all service berries all around this side where all these tree tubes are. And another swale. And now we're getting closer to the house down here. And these are all apples, some nitrogen fixers in here. We have a plum, 2 different apples, 3 different apples. Another plum, crimson maple here. Another plum. A couple more apples. Sumac, pine tree, all along in here as well. You can see the deer droppings here. All along in here are various currants as well, and comfrey. I forgot to mention those all along the way. There's a pecan right there. That one's doing pretty darn well. Another crimson maple, another apple, another honey locust, and another apple, another apple. That's a persimmon directly ahead of us. That's an ash right there. That one's not long for this world. That one's got the emerald ash as well. And here we are, and across the driveway there are the blackberry bushes. And then we have flowers in this area along the soil capturing canal system. I was just saying that where the soil collecting canal system is, right here in the front of the house and the parking area, and then over next to the house is the future permanent raised bed herb garden with the block wall similar to the wall you see right here. This area is going to take a lot of work in the next couple of years, some design flaws, and I'll have to work on that. But I just wanted to share with you, since the previous video on the first food forest got some attention, I thought I'd share the video demonstrating what's going on so far in the second food forest. It's hard to see the trees that well when they're in the tree tubes, but those tree tubes have worked out extremely well. And Hank spent the morning with me walking around out here, and it wasn't too bad. We had a brief little bit of sunshine. So feel free to leave comments and ask questions. I know you can't see that much. You can't see any of the herbaceous layer or many of the small bushing trees. And it's hard with some of the weeds, the asters, the goldenrod, all of those strong, tall weeds, to pick out some of the trees that I was mentioning as I was going through. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please have a wonderful day. Subscribe if you haven't, and certainly give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks so much. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye now.